Welcome back to the Stanford Cardinal Dynasty. After a blazing hot start to the season, the Cardinal look to continue to build momentum for year 2. We open this episode at home hosting the Fresno State Bulldogs in a NorCal matchup. Fresno split the first 2 games of their season and look to hand Stanford their first loss on the campaign. We kick off the action, first quarter, 5 minutes left. Elijah Brown takes a snap from empty. He gets enough time to throw it and he dumps it off to Mason Williams, who outruns the defense on his way to a first down. Later, on 3rd and 5 from the 28, Brown back to pass again. Pressure comes through, but he gets it away, but it's broken up, but a flag is down on the play. Free safety, Caleb Jackson celebrates, but he's hit with a pass interference penalty, extending the drive. The drive is extended, but the Bulldog defense tighten up as Brown faces quick pressure and sacked by edge Maharti Expera, forcing a 3rd and long from the 15. Then, on the following play, Brown drops back to pass again, and he's taken down on back-to-back plays as Demarion White comes home for the sack. After the field goal, Fresno State down 3 in the second quarter. Quarterback Jake Mandel, he takes a snap from the gun on the 40. He sits in a pocket, but he gets happy feet. He dumps it off to Bryson Donaldson, who turns it upfield for a nice 15-yard gain. Very next play, Dogs are going to take the snap. They're going to try to play action, but star safety Isaac Wilson is not fooled, and he takes down the quarterback for a sack. This causes the drive to stall out, and kicker Connor Tripp comes on to tie the game at 3, and he drills it right down the middle, 3-3 after that one. Ensuing Stanford drive, Brown takes a snap, design rollout to the right, and he finds Faison wide open downfield. He hits a little spin move before being tackled at the 27. Very nice play. Very next play, backup halfback Chris Davis Jr. takes the handoff. He hits the hole and it opens up, and he dashes for the end zone for a 27-yard touchdown. Stanford hits the end zone first as they hop back out in front. Fresno gets 3 on their next drive, and the next drive for Stanford, Brown's going to drop back to pass, looking for Benji Blackburn, but it's undercut and intercepted by Kavion Thunderbird. He turns it upfield before being tackled. Big play for the Dogs defense as their offense looks to capitalize. After the interception, they get down to the goal line, and Bryson Donaldson takes the handoff, gets a huge block, and he runs it in for a touchdown. Fresno does not waste the takeaway, and they take the lead away. Stanford drive late in the second, down 3. Brown's going to throw it quick to Jalen Mbakwe up the seam for a nice 20-yard gain. 13 seconds left on the 20. Cardinals set up a screen, and Ford gets a Colony out in front, and he's going to score easily. Stanford puts 7 right on the board right before halftime. 17-3 coming out of the break, and Cardinals look to strike early when Brown throws a deep ball to Mbakwe, who hauls it in and takes it all the way to the house. Beautiful pitch and catch to put up 6 in the third, and Stanford comes out striking. 26-14 in the fourth now. Caden High is in the backfield, and he's going to take the handoff, and he's going to dash right up the middle, and he bursts through the hole, and they aren't going to catch him. 20-10, touchdown. Caden High, 66-yard touchdown run for the wide receiver playing halfback substitute. Fresno eventually cuts it to 8 with 5 to play when Chris Davis is going to take the handoff on 31. He darts to the outside, gets past the linebacker, and he could go all the way. Touchdown, Cardinal. This one goes for 72 yards to the house, and the explosive offense extends the lead late in the fourth. However, the Bulldogs don't falter. Mando takes a snap from the 31. He drops it off to Donaldson, who breaks one tackle, bounces off another, and dashes it all the way to the 40 before taking out of bounds. They eventually get it down to the 2-yard line, and Mando's going to navigate the pocket and finds tight end Kyson Van Voot in the back of the end zone for a clutch touchdown with 3 minutes to play. Stanford looking to ice the game when taking the snap from the 26 with 2:40 to play. Brown drops back the pass. He hits Mbakwe, and he has too much speed as he outruns the defense. Whoops, jukes out a defender, and he's tackled down at the 46 for a big play to get inside Fresno territory. Stanford ends up kneeling it out from there, and they're going to hold on to beat the Fresno State Bulldogs 38-30 and remain undefeated on the year in an exciting, explosive game here. Halfback Chris Davis was the player of the game after an explosive effort with 110 on the ground with 2 scores on just 4 rush attempts. He definitely made the most of his touches. Game 2 sees Stanford remain home to face off against an ACC foe in the SMU Mustangs in an early conference game. Both teams are undefeated, and their conference record was not the only thing at stake, as Stanford lined up 4 important recruiting visits: quarterback Sataki Bodie, guards Dalton Robinson and Oscar Hagan, and halfback Ezekiel Menace all come to town to visit. We're in a heated battle for both Menace and Bodie, so this game has huge ramifications in our recruiting front. We get the action started with SMU ball on the 33 when they're going to get the run game involved as TJ Harden takes the outside handoff, outruns the linebacker, and gets down to the second level, eventually tackled out of bounds at the 43. Later on 31, Harden's going to get another crack at it, but Josiah Galvin stops him behind the line of scrimmage for a nice stop on 3rd down. Their kicker, Sam Keltner, came on to try to put the first score on the board, but he ends up pushing it left and it doinks off the goalpost, and Mustangs gets nothing on their drive. Stanford drive now facing a 3rd and 4. Brown's going to hit Caden High short, who turns it upfield as he runs away from the defense, picking up the yards to gain. Another 3rd and down, needing 5, Brown hits face on an out route, and he ends up just short for the line of gain. They decide to line up and go for it on 4th and short. They decide to drop back and pass. Brown's going to throw it up to his tight end, but Alexander Kilgore breaks it up. Ken hauled in, forcing the turnover on downs. Stanford end up getting the ball back, score still 0-0. Brown drops back to pass, and again he hits Caden High on a short route, who beats his mark, angles his way from another before being tackled down at the 30-yard line. Caden High making big plays early on in this one. The drive does eventually stall out at the 27, and kicker Emmett Kinney comes on. He drills his field goal, making it 3-0 Stanford lead in the first quarter. Second quarter now, SMU facing a 3rd and 7 when Kevin Jennings stands strong in the pocket, and he hits Jalen Cooper, who spins out of a defender and before being tackled down at the 42. 2 plays later, Jennings back to pass again, but Stanford sends the blitz, and Galvin takes down the quarterback for a sack. SMU did get some yards back on the drive, but faced a 4th and 3 from the 34. They're going to try to hand the ball off, and again, Harden gets stuffed and can't get the first down, and it's a great stop by the Cardinal defense. Stanford takes over, who then face a 4th down themselves when Brown hits Mbakwe on a short route, and he turns it upfield for a nice gain, 1st down to extend the drive. The drive eventually stalls out again, and this time Kenny tries another attempt, but he pushes it left, and it falls no good. Score remains 3-0. A defensive struggle in the first 2 quarters in this one, as Stanford does tack on 3 late before the break. Both teams are having a absolute brutal day offensively, averaging just 5 yards per play, and have left points on the board with missed field goals and turnover downs in opposing territory. Which offense will be able to break through in the second half? Stanford, they got the ball first in the 3rd quarter. SMU is going to look to send pressure, but Brown's going to roll out right, and then he throws a beautiful ball downfield to Mbakwe, who hauls it in. Great throw for a huge gain to get this drive going. Later on the drive, facing a 2nd and goal from the 1, Micah Ford gets the call, and he plows his way into the end zone for the first touchdown of the game. 2-point attempt failed, so the score ended up being 12-0. Ensuing SMU drive, facing a 3rd and 12, Stanford turns up the heat, and Omar Staples comes free for a sack to force a punt. Stanford following drive sees them go for it on 4th down when Brown's going to hit face on a nice out route to extend the drive. Risky call there as they were backed up, and then they look to capitalize as they get the ball down to the 3-yard line. 1st and goal, they're going to throw for it, and Brown hits Ismail Cisse on the short comeback route, who holds on for a Cardinal touchdown. They tack on the extra point, making it 19-0 going into the 4th quarter. In the 4th, SMU ball in the 34. Jennings is going to fake the handoff. He's going to look to throw, but he's taken down for another sack. 5th of the game for the Stanford defense, making it 3rd and long. However, I encountered a game-breaking bug, as afterwards I was forced into a replay that I tried to skip, but no avail. I was able to get to the plays call screen, but the game would not allow me to select the play. As you see here, I tried everything from going into Super Sim, skipping ahead of play, going back into the game, and nothing worked. The game essentially locked up for the remaining of the 4th quarter, up until the 2-minute warning. which then prevented me from skipping ahead any further. So due to EA's shitty game-breaking bug, I had to quit out of College Football 26 and reload the save. Unfortunately, game progress does not save in College Football 26, so I lost all progress of this game. I decided to say, you know what, I'll go ahead and force win the game as I was up 19 points with 10 minutes to play and felt confident in being able to hold on for the win. So an anticlimactic ending to the SMU game with the sim score being 45-35, much more exciting than the game that was actually played. After the game, our recruiting visit recap made us strong contenders for the 4-star players that visited. Bodie, Menace, and Hagen were all on their way to committing to Stanford, while Robinson put us far ahead of the other schools as he narrowed down his top 3. That wraps up today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.